Financial literacy brought to you by NTV, PwC and DFCU Bank.
Did you know that as your group you can lend money to the government of Uganda? And this is through something called government paper. So government paper comes in two forms: treasury bill and treasury bonds. It's called government paper because you're lending money to the government, and the government is giving you a paper telling you, I promise I will pay you back. It's like a promissory note. So here, through the Bank of Uganda, the government instructs Bank of Uganda that we need some money. We know that the teachers in Makerere are striking. We don't have the money now. Let's go and borrow money from the public, the wananchi. So the central bank, what they'll do, they'll issue something called a treasury bill or a treasury bond. And that will allow people from the public to come and buy the treasury bill, and in that way they are lending money to the government. And when you lend money to the government, it's supposed to pay you back interest. So they will pay you back an interest. If you want to lend to the government for a short term, that is less than 1 year, you buy something called a treasury bill. You can lend to the government for 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. If you want to lend to the government for a long term, which is over 2 years, you buy something called a treasury bond. Now, all this information you can get through the branch manager, because DFCU Bank is one of the banks that is called a primary dealer. It is allowed to deal in treasury bills and bonds. There are only 4 or 5 banks that are allowed to do that out of all the commercial banks. Unfortunately, DFCU is one of the banks that you can do so. So when your group has raised a lot of money, 1 million shillings plus, that is another option you can go to.
Financial literacy was brought to you by NTV, PwC and DFCU Bank. DFCU Bank is regulated by the Central Bank of Uganda.